Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate all the comments and all the interactions I've been getting on previous videos. Really appreciate it. Having a pretty fun time doing all this stuff. So let's move on. So today I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the Netgear Nighthawk AXE7800. It's a tri-band Wi-Fi 6E router. And the biggest reason I picked this thing up is because about a year or so ago, I decided to upgrade to gigabit speeds. It's not necessarily fiber, it's still coax, but it's about, 1,000 down and 40, 50 up is what I should be rated to be getting. And that totally works for me for, my workload and things of that nature. Unfortunately, what seems to happen is with my old router, I would start seeing some throttles. After a few hours of use, I would go and see its speed test and probably barely clear 100 meg down. I've troubleshooted this going directly straight into the modem, and I get my gigabit speeds. And to be honest, I kind of just dealt with it. It wasn't really impeding on my work, and we weren't doing too much around the house to kind of necessitate any more bandwidth. And so whenever we would need to download a game for a PS5 or something of that nature, it was pretty easy to just reset the router and then, get to gigabit speeds for the time being, and then eventually it would do it. However, with the addition of my NAS and me starting the YouTube stuff and just overall more projects, I wanted to kind of fix that issue and maybe pick up a router that was in another tier higher of what I was previously running. What I previously was running was this TP-Link, cheap, pretty much just picked it up off like Best Buy or Amazon and didn't really think too much afterwards. But yeah, with that said, we're doing a bunch of movie files, moving between different computers. I'm doing game capture. We're obviously streaming our 4K UHD Blu-ray rips and TV shows and accessing all of that via Infuse. So, I felt like it was time. When I would go to use, Infuse and load a movie, it wouldn't necessarily buffer once the movie was loaded, but getting into it, we'd get our little spinny circle of frustration and, we'd be locked into the content. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this, take it apart, take a look at what we've got, and we'll follow back up with some thoughts and some speed tests and see how I feel about it. All right. Doing a network upgrade. Not exactly home theater related, but hoping to get a little bit more performance when streaming over Infuse and gaming. Been, kind of running into problems with my other router. So let us see what we have in this box. And yeah, that makes sense. Oh, nice one, dude. Cool. It's like an empty Netgear box. I'll put that to the side. And this looks like fair. Oh, already got a quick start guide kind of peeking out. Pretty cool. More information about the router on the back, but let's get to the part that we're actually kind of curious about. Ooh, okay. Some more shield of security and languages I don't speak. Contact us form, and then basically front and center, they spit out a router at us. It's pretty big, man. A pretty big guy. Cool. And then their power adapter. And nice. Ethernet cord. I'll definitely keep that. Cool. So that's pretty much all that's in the box here. So let's take a look at our main units. Here it is. Our router. Let's get this unsealed and take a look at what we got here. Oh, you just hear that? Okay, cool. Alright, more stuff fall out. Okay, I guess it's like a plastic. Goes like that. Ah, I see. Okay. Okay. I guess that's how it goes. Okay, cool. And then it gives us our preset SSID. That's neat. I'll probably use that for first time setup. Alright, and here is the piece of focus. We've got our 1 gigabit LAN adapter, 2.5 gig, 4 LAN ports, USB 3. Wow, and a physical power switch. That is actually really fucking cool. And our DC power. But yeah, I mean, this is a hefty unit, man. We even see here's almost like some cooling on it. Pretty neat. So, whoa. Yeah, cool. I'm excited to get this one up. I got some screen capture of the speeds we were getting before with the old router. And so we'll get this one hooked up. I'll go through some first time setup and I'll report back. All right, so I have had the Netgear router set up for a few days now. And man, overall, it has done everything that I've needed it to do to a really, really high degree. I'll throw some speed test examples here. And it's not necessarily that these are speeds that my old router couldn't do. The old router could do gigabit speeds, but it would throttle after being on for a few times. So this time around, there is no throttle. I can run speed tests 6 hours apart from each other and we'll get, similar results. So I'm happy with that. I did have this issue a while back where the Ethernet port on my Mac Mini 2018 fried. So I was restricted to using Wi-Fi for a couple years. With this router purchase, I just bit the bullet and got a Thunderbolt to Ethernet adapter and finally hardwired my Mac back up to my network. And that's going to be extremely useful when it comes to just interfacing with the NAS. Now both sides of the connection are hardwired. The NAS is hardwired, and now my Mac is hardwired. And that's where I do all my 4K UHD and 1080p Blu-ray ripping. And so, while we're at the mercy of the drive, I do suspect maybe my rips will be a little bit faster when they're going to the NAS. Things I'll have to try when I buy a couple more movies. Overall, streaming from Infuse is way faster. There's no circle. As long as the NAS seems to be loaded up, I can pretty much pick any title on Infuse and it comes up way faster than it did before. I also did put it through the ringer. Previously, if I was streaming a movie in my setup, streaming a 4K movie, my network would just be pinned and I couldn't really access anything else from the NAS without causing disruptions. I went ahead and was able to run 3 concurrent 4K UHD streams off the NAS. I had one going in the theater. I had one playing on my girlfriend's PC, just off VLC, just playing an MKV, and I did the same thing on my Mac Mini in the room, and all 3 of them ran without a hitch, which is really good, because typically, in my use case, I don't imagine I will be, at worst, maybe I'm streaming a movie and she's in the room streaming like a TV show or something off the NAS. But just to have the expandability and, the headroom to know that, okay, even if I do get a new NAS that, requires some more speed, I will have the headroom for it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Setup was pretty run of the mill. You set your SSID, set your password, any additional networking configuration that you'd like to do, is to your own taste. I did not use the app setup. I'm just not that guy. I'm just gonna go to my default gateway and do it on a mouse with the computer. I don't feel like installing shit to my phone. But for people that aren't as tech savvy, I do think that's a solid option to get on the ground. And like you saw, the sticker also just throws the default SSID and password that it gives. So really shouldn't be running into too many issues from here on out. The tests on Wi-Fi are also pretty crazy. I definitely noticed an improvement on that front too, that my network just isn't getting hung as much. All right, so that has been my unboxing and review of the Netgear AXE7800. Man, I haven't really delved enough with the unit long enough to really give like a full 10 out of 10 stars, but for everything that I've needed accomplished in my setup, it has done so. File transferring specifically via the local network was my biggest focus, and it excelled at that. It truly did. So I'm excited to keep this unit for years and years to come. And, maybe if I've got that upgrade ability for, 2.5 gigabit per second. Thanks for checking out the channel. Always appreciate your comments. Let me know what your networking solution is in your home theater, your home setup. Do you have a simpler setup? Do you have something more complex? Let me know. Thanks for checking out. See you guys soon.